AI topic is really huge, and today we're talking with a specialist who is working with data, with AI, with machine learning, and this will be part one. Part two, we'll have more specialists coming who will be talking about AI, who will be presenting their opinions, and stay with us and you will see more about it. Could you please tell us what is machine learning and what is AI in general?
Well, let me probably start with explaining this umbrella term, artificial intelligence. So basically this term was introduced in 1950s. And basically, it was introduced to describe type of technology that can replicate intelligence. Doesn't really give you a clue what it is. But it basically any task that could involve intelligence. So it's any technology we can probably call AI. What is important to understand that there are traditional artificial intelligence methods. For example, before all the boom of generative AI and ChatGPT and all those models, we were still using, for example, maps and navigators. So they also apply some artificial intelligence methods and algorithms, traditional methods, which involve some setup rules that were already predefined. Some algorithms when you have like a specific step, a specific approach, how to follow it. And then other part of artificial intelligence, which is more important nowadays, called machine learning. So, and basically now when everyone is mentioning AI, chances are that they mean machine learning. And sorry, I'm going probably too deep, but that's
I would say it's a little bit confusing in a way as well, because I also call everything AI.
Yeah.
And for me, Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, everything is AI. Applications that I have on my phone that can do interior design for you easily within one click is also AI for me. So in short words, what is AI and what is machine learning?
So let's say AI is a big term. You can still call everything AI, but machine learning, and let me deep dive into this. So it's specific algorithms where you had like a lot of data, you've shown it to machine, and now machine can replicate what it has seen. So identify some patterns and understand like different connections between this data. For example, you have this classic machine learning task to identify where in the picture you have, let's say, apple and orange. So you have a big data set where you have apples and oranges, but you don't tell machine which is apple, how it looks like, the shape of it, the color of it, the taste of it. You just show to the machine, apple, orange, apple, orange. And machine learning algorithms allows machine to find a pattern to distinguish which one is an apple and which one is an orange. Similar to large language models as ChatGPT. So it has seen a lot of text information, a lot of sequences of words, and now it can predict which word would be after your prompt. So it's basically studied a lot of data, identified some patterns and some dependencies, and now can replicate those patterns from the data it's seen while it was training.
You're saying that those machines, they are analyzing loads of data, but is it safe to give that much data to the machine, and who's behind the machine?
Well, that's a very complicated question. So basically, now we're in this race between those big corporations. They're in this race of creating the best type of artificial intelligence models. And even though the algorithms and the neural networks are, for some of the companies, they're open sourced. For example, DeepSeek, it's open source, so you can understand how the code works. But what they don't share is the data that they use to train those models. And that is the most tricky part, because no one knows what dataset OpenAI used, what data DeepSeek used, and how they fine-tune this data, why DeepSeek will give you a slightly different answer to some of the questions you can ask ChatGPT or Gemini. So the answer is no one knows which data was used to train those models. So they are saying that they were using like data from all over the internet, but we don't know how they prepared it, how they pre-processed it. And we don't know if the data that we give to AI, if they store it, how they use it, how they train models to upskill itself. So I wouldn't say that it's very safe to feed your personal information or intimate information to those.
To the machine.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying that we're openly sharing the data with those companies, but why do we do that? Does it mean that our life is going to get easier if we use AI in the future, or it's actually becoming more complicated?
Well, that's another tricky question from your Aunt Maria. So that depends on how you approach this AI in general. So basically, yeah, it definitely makes our life easier because we can automate a lot of things. But some people, they start to worry that, oh, I'll probably lose my job. And that sometimes gets a bit scary because some of things that we used to do ourselves are now automated. And culturally, we're just not prepared for this. And we need to come up with different morale, different ethics, and understand how to process it. Because our human brains, I think that for most of the people, they're just not prepared to this change because it happened too rapidly.
And you're saying that some jobs, they might disappear, right? Because of this AI you mentioned. Which jobs are safe and which are not, from your perspective?
Well, probably my answer would be a bit too boring. But I would say that creative jobs definitely would stay.
Would stay,
yeah,
rather than going. I was thinking that they might go.
Yeah, so I have a bit of unpopular opinion. So I always think about fashion industry when people ask me this question, and I'll explain you why. So we already went through industrial revolution, let's say more than 100 years ago. And imagine back in the day, to create a simple piece of fabric took ages of manual labor. Now to create, for example, my jacket, which I bought in mass market, it probably would take, I don't know, a few hours, probably less, and it's mainly machinery work. So people spend less time to create this single piece of clothes, but so they don't spend a lot of time to create the fabric, to create the design. So it's all automated now. But can you imagine how many people around the world work in fashion industry? How many different jobs we have in fashion industry? We have designers, creative directors, people who are capable to select, I don't know, models, to put set up, to put lights so we can film a campaign. And all those jobs, they didn't exist 150 years ago. And when we were thinking about fashion, it was just about the design, about how to create fabric, how to make sure that, the clothes is functional for most of the people back in the day. And now we have so many variety of jobs in fashion industry, even though it's not too difficult to create this piece of clothes.
Because I guess other functions are also
Yeah.
coming into place where people are still needed. Right?
Yeah.
How about interior designers? How about tech developers? Are they still staying or they go?
Well, I've seen those, and I think that you also have seen some reels and TikToks when people are like asking ChatGPT to generate image to create like a design of a room, and then they repaint the whole room and they replicate the design that they got from ChatGPT. I tried to do it for myself because I was doing renovation in our place a couple of months ago.
Didn't work?
Didn't work. Probably for like some of the people, for a very narrow case, that would work and automate a lot of like processes, but definitely not all of them. I cannot imagine when we're talking about like AI taking our jobs. I would be grateful if I wouldn't have to wait for a plumber to come fix my sink for
Hours.
Days. Weeks. Like, I would be so happy if we can automate this job. But I think with designers, just rolling back to your initial question, I think with designers, the field will evolve. It will just change, and probably a lot of things that designers they need to do manually in those tools, they will be just quicker, and we will be able to spend more time thinking about what patterns, what combination, what type of furniture I want. So we can browse like everything we have in the world, all the patterns, all the wallpapers, all the textures, and find like the best of the best what you actually want.
Creative professions, they're staying. You're saying they are developing, they're evolving, there will be more opportunities for them. How about doctors? Because I've heard AI can actually even treat people in terms of like there might be some robots, they can do the surgery, you just upload the program into it and they can just follow the instructions. Like you were saying, there are like loads of instructions that you need to follow. So this is the plan for healthcare going forward. Do you think it's realistic or not?
I think it is, and we basically a lot of surgeries, they're already done by those robots, and we have specific machinery just to do those surgeries. And I think that we will like experience a lot of inventions in healthcare in the upcoming decades, because now a lot of inventions in healthcare, in medicine, they were just like people were doing random mistakes sometimes. They just like mixed up some of the chemicals and then it turned out that it can like work out. But now we can analyze that vast of data. For example, there are startups which like try to understand like the specific belt of protein molecules and how they can treat cancer, because we have those data of types of cancer and we have data about proteins and different shapes of molecules.
How can we trust this data? If, for example, some sort of machine uploads the data to the robots and robot will be performing the surgery, how can we be sure that the data is correct in there? How can you trust the data that is there in the machine?
Well, so you need to validate and you need to have a human in loop always. especially for like healthcare data. You need to like double check, triple check the data. And even though if model predicts something, you still have to go through clinical trials and all those procedures. But to find like the right formula for medication would be just quicker. So to find the formula used to take the longest time. Now it will be like way quicker because machine can analyze this amount of data that human couldn't like analyze, spending the whole life, like 10 years, like 50 years. They wouldn't be able to like analyze all of it. And it will find like the right combination, because humans did find the right combinations of formulas back in the past.
They managed to.
Yeah. But the thing is that that's the upcoming problem that we haven't faced yet. Because, for example, the machine, it just replicates and finds the patterns, what it's seen in the past. But basically, yeah, people think that it creates something new, but basically it doesn't. I'm not sure if you heard like classical music created by artificial intelligence.
I heard about it.
Yeah, so it's basically the same classical music, but just like different combination of it. But it just seen like a lot of classical music, and it just replicates what it's seen. It's not nearly something new.
So I guess to sum this up, it means that AI is not as powerful as of now as people may think, right? And what I also understand from you saying is that people are confusing AI and machine learning. They call everything AI these days, and they don't really understand that there is also machine learning when AI is an umbrella to everything, right?
Exactly.
And your opinion is that creative professions, they are not going anywhere. They're just evolving like other professions as well, and using AI to the maximum of what they can, right?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you.